What's up, guys? This chair makes so much noise. God, it squeaks like... So let's talk about the elephant in the room. This shirt is an awesome Witcher shirt that I wanted for a while now. It looks very similar to the one that the developers had at E3 this past E3 2014, except this is the Comic-Con one, the Comic-Con version. And I mean, CD Projekt Red is like freaking awesome. I love them to death. Oh my god, I cannot do the heart, so don't even no. Look at that. What the is that? I was like, man, I want one of those gray shirts. I was saying that on Twitter, and I wasn't even directing it at CD Projekt Red or anything. I was like, they look so cool because it's got like Geralt and everything. So cool. But yeah, I got this one, and I got a ladies tee. It's a black one, and it just says Witcher 3 up here on the Wild Hunt. I'll wear it in another video. A lot of people have been wanting to see a Witcher video. They're like, all you do is Dragon Age. I've addressed this many times before, but for those Witcher fans that follow me, there isn't that much information on The Witcher 3, unfortunately. I think the most revealing had been E3, because that's when they revealed the new demo that they showed off publicly at Comic-Con. And again, that's another reason why people were like, why haven't you talked about the new demo shown off at Comic-Con? Because, you know, it's a new demo. It was like 35 minutes long. And I'm like, I already talked about that demo. That was the demo I saw behind closed doors at E3. And I have a video where I talk about that demo. Do you remember the video where I talk about Johnny and how he loves to poop? That's the demo. So it's the same exact demo. Even the demo, I asked Sparrow's Journey, because Sparrow's Journey went to EGX, and The Witcher had a booth there. And I was like, the demo that you saw, which one was it? I was double checking to see if it was a new one. And he was like, no, it's that same one. It's that same one, but they were playing it live. Because at Comic-Con, they only showed it to you. They only showed the demo, or they put it on YouTube or whatever, so that everyone could see it. But at EGX, they were actually playing it live in front of people. And at E3, they were playing it live, but behind closed doors. So almost everything when it has to do with news is Dragon Age Inquisition. I mean, you guys know how big of a fan I am of Dragon Age. And Dragon Age, BioWare is releasing information like every freaking week. So I was like, I don't know what you guys want me to say. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this video because I feel like talking about The Witcher, not because I feel forced. Some of the footage that they're showing now is just absolutely gorgeous. You could really see the power of the next generation, and of course what we've already known, what the PC could do. CD Projekt Red did show off like a developer diary. I really like when they do this, because not only are they talking more about the game and all that and showing it off, but I really like how they incorporate themselves into the dev diary, and they're like walking out in the wilderness, and they're showing like these really cool environments, and it has that Witcher feel to it. They really make the dev diary feel like The Witcher, like the game. It was called Traveling Monster Hunter, and they showed off some amazing scenes on there. I was like, my god, this game looks just absolutely stunning. Now it's like, this is Witcher 3 Geralt. It's amazing just how much detail they can show off, not only on Geralt, but on all the characters. You know what was really cool about the Comic-Con panel that CD Projekt Red had was, I'll look for the video, and I'll link it in the description so you guys can watch it. It's so good. It's so funny. Actually, it was on their channel, either the Witcher channel or the CD Projekt Red channel. They actually had Geralt's voice actor there, and I was like, that is so cool. Doug Cockle, he's been the voice of Geralt since The Witcher 1. And he was there, and it was funny because they were showing off the demo to the crowd in the panel, and the demo played with no audio. There was no audio, and they were like, "Oh my god!" So it was just visual, and they actually got Doug Cockle to do a voiceover of Geralt right there. Like whenever Geralt would be saying something, Doug Cockle would say whatever the subtitles was saying on the screen, and it's just so funny because he not only does he do Geralt, but he also does some of Johnny, and he also does like this lady's voice. It's so funny. He's like, "Ooh, she sounds pretty sexy." I thought that was so brilliant. I got to see the demo with audio, and it ran perfectly. But I almost would have traded that for this experience, to actually experience Doug Cockle doing the voiceover. Oh man, that was so cool. It's worth a watch. It's not that long because they do cut a lot of it. They don't have the whole demo. It's just bits and pieces that they have on there, but it's really funny. When I was at E3 this year, I got an interview with CD Projekt Red. I asked about sea creatures because we know that you are able to go on a little boat, like actually sail in the water and get to different islands and stuff. Just like you have your horse available to you pretty much whenever you want. Of course, sometimes you can't get your horse depending on where you are. You also have the option of using a boat. You could sail on rivers and in the ocean, and you could also get attacked by sea monsters on the little boat, and the boat could even get destroyed in storms. On your little boat, you could actually choose to go into the water, so Geralt could swim. I'm guessing it has to do with maybe collecting things, but you could also, in that interview that I had, I asked them if you could fight sea creatures, and they said yes. You could fight sea creatures, but it wasn't very easy to do so. Moving on to a more general topic when it comes to The Witcher, because like I said, there's not that much news. But what I really, really like about the game, The Witcher, is how there's so much more to it. It's not just a game about a monster hunter. And same with the books. There's so much more to it. There's so many political themes there. There's historical themes there where you could feel what that kind of era in the past was like. So it's not just like this imagined world and boom, he's somewhere and everything is done by coincidence or everything's there by coincidence. There's a lot of historical research that goes into the way that things look. You could almost believe this world. You know, it's like, obviously these kinds of monsters don't exist. But if they did, I could totally see this happening. And it kind of makes sense the way that they do it. It's not just like, oh, these people are special and they're born like this and they're witches. No, it's like they're humans, but they give up their humanity in order to fight these monsters. And they go through the what's it called, the trial of grasses, I think it's called, or something like that, and it completely changes their DNA almost, makes their eyes cat-like. Geralt, it doesn't always make their hair white, so that's why Geralt is one of the only Witchers that you see with the white hair. Geralt went through some pretty bad experiences as a kid, going through the trial of grasses, I think it's called. They're also turned sterile as well. The thing that I love the most about The Witcher, especially if you've read the books, Witchers have this code, and it's not like, they're not a set of rules. They're not supposed to meddle in the lives of humans. They're not supposed to get into political issues, and they're not supposed to get involved in this stuff. Like, they have their job and they stick to that. They kill monsters. That's it. I mean, we know from the books and from the games that he's almost always involved in political issues and in issues of saving people and helping people. And not just by like just killing a monster, because he's supposed to do that for money. He's not supposed to do that for anything else but money. He's a hired sword for monster hunting. But a lot of times Geralt sees himself, and you see this in the No Man's Land trailer, he sees himself like not being able to not care. Technically, he feels that Witchers almost lose their emotions, and they're supposed to be emotionless. Like, they're not supposed to care. They're not supposed to be affected by social issues. They're not supposed to be affected by inequality, by injustice. But Geralt is, and he almost feels like he's sick. Like something's wrong with him. That's why I love that trailer so much, because he's riding his horse and he's with the other Witcher, the head guy, the head honcho, and he tells him don't meddle with it, because he's seeing these guys, they're gonna hang this girl, and whether she did something wrong or not, he feels that this is wrong. Like, he's like, they shouldn't be treating her like this. And you see that moment where he thinks it. That is a brilliant trailer, because you know exactly how Geralt is feeling and what he's thinking in that moment. And he closes his eyes. That's where he's thinking, I can't just walk away, even though he knows he should. Another thing that makes that trailer so awesome is when...
What are you doing? Killing monsters.
Damn! He always finds a reason to do what he does. Like, he's like, you know what, I kill monsters, but he's like, how are these people not even considered monsters? He sees them as monsters, where he's like, I have to do something, because how does what they're doing, this barbaric way of treating a woman, even if she did do something wrong, how is that different from what monsters do? These guys are monsters, and almost worse than monsters, because it's in a monster's nature to do what they do. And these are human beings. I think that theme is just absolutely fascinating to me, where the mutant, because Witchers are kind of considered to be mutants, the mutant is almost more human than the actual humans around him. And he feels like he needs to do something about it. And that's why these political issues that just engulf the game are make it so much more than just a game about killing monsters. It makes Geralt so much more interesting and so much more dynamic. He's such a complicated character, and I think that's what makes him so interesting, so loved. Not only just in the games, but even, I think that's why the books were so well received as well, because of how much Geralt has going on, that whole internal struggle of who he is, and what he's supposed to do. That's what really makes a character strong. They seem so real that you can almost relate to them, even though they're so far away from what you are. It's like, I know how he feels. It's that line of what is good and what is bad, and whether you should do something about it, given your beliefs, given your fears, your whatever, anything. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about that. I really want to get to your guys' suggestions, because I went on Twitter and Facebook, and I told you guys to send me some questions or just suggestions that you want me to talk about when it comes to The Witcher. A few people have been asking for me to talk a little bit about Ciri and Yennefer. A lot of people don't know who they are, because they are pretty much introduced and mentioned only in the books. They were never, except for Yennefer, Ciri was never mentioned in, at least by name. She wasn't mentioned in The Witcher 1 or 2. Now, I want to just clarify that I haven't read all of the Witcher books. There have only been 4 that have been translated officially to English. I have them all, but I've only read Blood of Elves and The Last Wish. The Last Wish is pretty much compiled with short stories about The Witcher, which is really good. I really recommend this book, because not only is it amazingly written, and Geralt is just a dandelion. Oh my god. Dandelion is not done justice in the game, let me just say. This is Dandelion. This is the Dandelion that you should read. He's hilarious, and he's just perfect. And Yennefer is introduced here. And then comes Blood of Elves. This one I finished reading. It's really good, but this is an actual story. The whole book is a story. It's not short stories. There is another book that actually comes after this. I forgot what it's called, but there's another short story book that comes after this, and I've heard a lot of people saying that it's important to know. I don't know why they just skipped it, and I know that there have been fan translations, so I might take a look at that. This is when Ciri was young. This is really, really good. I love this book. And then I haven't read these. These are the ones I was like, I need to have them anyways, but I haven't gotten around to reading them. I will definitely read these before The Witcher comes out. And I recommend that you guys read these. My God, the books are so good. If you like the games, you're gonna love the books. Sapkowski is a genius. As much as I would like to do a Witcher Talks series, I can't because I haven't read all the books. So I don't know everything there is to Ciri, to Yennefer, all of that. I don't know. I know who Ciri is because of Last Wish and Blood of Elves. But beyond that, I don't know. And I believe the games take place after the books. But Ciri is a girl because Geralt saves her when she was young. But she had already been promised to him by her parents in The Last Wish. That was a really good story, by the way. So it's almost like she's Geralt's daughter. When she was promised to him, but he didn't know that it was going to be a girl. Witchers want to create more Witchers. So they would take kids, or babies even, and they would turn them into Witchers from from when they were very young, so that the Witcher line wouldn't just end. But Geralt didn't know that she was going to be a girl because she hadn't been born yet. In the Blood of Elves, it's so interesting because Ciri is this girl, and pretty much Geralt wanted to train her as a Witcher, but she's a girl, and there has never been a girl Witcher. So they didn't know how the Trial of Grasses was going to affect her because she was a girl, because it's a different anatomy, and also because of her menstrual cycle. They were like, how is it even gonna work? And Triss was like, don't you dare put her in through that. She's like, no, because you have no idea how she's gonna react. It's such a good book. I might do a video later on just about Blood of Elves. You don't have to read the books to play the games, but especially with Witcher 3, when they're directly incorporating two major characters from the books into the games, a lot of people are like, who are they? So that's pretty much who Ciri is. There's so much more to her. Geralt does end up training her as a Witcher, so I'm really, really interested to see Ciri, especially now that she's older. I don't know what happened to her, because I haven't read the books, the rest of them. I just really can't wait to see that interaction because he's like a father to her. So that's going to be super awesome, and we're going to see a different side to Geralt, which I cannot wait. And then Yennefer. There's so much controversy with Yennefer, though, because Yennefer is supposed to be the love of his life, but Yennefer is also a sorceress. So she's like Triss, but much more powerful. I believe Triss trained under Yennefer. The minute he met her, this story is in The Last Wish, and I believe it's the last one, and I believe it's called Last Wish. I'm telling you guys have to read it. It's so good. Especially the beginning with Dandelion. The minute Geralt meets her, it's in a bath scene, of course. It immediately starstruck. Like, he's like, oh my God, he's like, oh, the feels. She has a thing for him as well. In the beginning, Dandelion finds a magic lamp. It's like, no, don't call the genie, because this is not good. Genies are not good. There's always consequences to the wishes. Like, it's that whole thing where it's like, okay, I wish I was rich. Maybe you end up getting rich by an inheritance from your mother, so your mother ends up dying. So there's always like a backstab. Like, oh, you wanted this? Well, here's how you get it. At the end, Yennefer makes the last wish, and it's that Geralt. I forgot exactly how the last wish is. I don't remember exactly what the last wish was, but it was something like Geralt, that Yennefer wished that Geralt would always be like in love with her, like crazy for her, and like need her, something like that. So now Geralt, that's why there's that controversy, because it's like, oh yeah, Yennefer is the love of his life, but people are like, well, only because Yennefer did that last wish, because, you know, there's that magic tying him to her. But I mean, even before the wish, he was already smitten by her. Whether it has to do with the wish or not, it probably does have to do with the wish, but I think he's in love with her anyways. I'm more team Yennefer, just because I love that story. And Triss, if you read Blood of Elves, Triss is like all over Geralt, and Geralt's like, you know, get off me, like, don't, just stop. And it's like, oh my god, Triss, just, oh, dude, you're making a fool out of yourself. I mean, I like Triss, but I really want to see the interaction between Geralt and Yennefer, especially because there's tension there. In the Last Wish, they did end up separating. I think that's all explained in that book that they left out in the middle, in the book that's in between Last Wish and Blood of Elves. So I'm like, dude, we need that book. I don't understand why they left it out. So that's who Yennefer is. She was mentioned in The Witcher 2, and I believe in Witcher 1 as well. But she was alluded to in The Witcher 2. I remember I was like, oh my god, they're talking about Yennefer. And I think they actually named her too. So it turns out that Yennefer was taken by the Wild Hunt. So he ends up finding her in The Witcher 3, and that's not a spoiler because we already saw her in the trailer. She's already been confirmed as a character. So yeah, she's there. I don't know how he finds her. I don't know if she has amnesia as well as a side effect from the Wild Hunt, because that's what happens. Is she even gonna remember who Geralt is? So that's gonna be something really, really interesting. I'm telling you right now, that interaction between Yennefer and Geralt, the interaction between Ciri and Geralt is gonna be spot on. Now that it's an open world, will the story suffer? I saw this one twice actually. CD Projekt Red always says that they would have never given up the story for an open world. So they are focusing a lot on keeping the story rich and vibrant and deep and meaningful as it's always been. But they're just opening the world to more options. It really is hard for a developer to balance that out. But I think CD Projekt Red is gonna nail it. If anybody would, it's them. I know that they would not sacrifice the story of The Witcher, because that's exactly what the game is about. It's about the story. It's not so much about the world. And now they do want to give you more options because they want you to feel like a Witcher. That's what they're always saying. They want you to feel like the Witcher. Do Witcher stuff, go hunting, go, traveling and stuff. So they're just opening it up while still keeping that rich story. I was wondering if the combat has been reworked, as I found Witcher 2 a little slow. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the game. The demo that I saw, the last one, the combat looks extremely smooth. It flows very well. More so than it did in The Witcher 2. I don't know about The Witcher 1, because again, I haven't played it. I know some of you are going, oh my god, I can't believe you haven't played it. But I haven't played it because I don't have a PC and my Mac is just doesn't handle it well. Geralt moves a lot more like a sword fighter. He has these little jumps to avoid. It's not just rolling anymore. It was just roll in Witcher 2. And now it's more like he's actually reacting to things. Like he jumps and he parries and stuff. Someone asked me if I actually played the game. I haven't actually played it, so I don't know exactly how it feels. But with what I've seen it played live by the developers. It just looks super awesome, very responsive, very smooth, flows well. The sounds. I love the sounds of the signs. Oh my god, like I literally got goosebumps when I heard the sound that Quen does in the demo. It was like a small theater room, and when he does Quen, it just goes koom, and I was like, ugh. They completely revamped the signs aesthetically as well as the sounds. They made them just sound so much more epic. Is it worth the money? I have no clue. I haven't played it yet, but I think it is. I think it definitely is worth the money because, I mean, just look at the visuals, look at the demos, and look at who's making it. CD Projekt Red, you just cannot go wrong with that company. They're not afraid to take risks. They listen to feedback. They're so responsive. They're fans of The Witcher. They love this game so much. That's one thing that I really love about going to events where CD Projekt Red is. If you ever could go to an event where CD Projekt Red is going to be there, go and go there first, because the vibe that you get from them, especially if the team is big, if there's a big team there, like it was in E3, it was just like this little tiny room. It's so perfect. It's this little tiny room, a mannequin of The Witcher, and you see all these like Witcher stuff, and like it's just this, the pictures and stuff. It's just so cool, and it's like they've got couches and stuff, and you go in there and the team's just sitting around, like they're just there. But the feeling that you get is just, you're like, these guys are so cool. These girls and guys, because you see them all there, and they're so enthusiastic about the game. They're so enthusiastic about what you think about it. They're so enthusiastic about meeting you. They want to know what you think. They always have like these little pieces of paper in the theater where you watch the demo. They have a little piece of paper with a pencil. And I still have my Witcher pencil. Where is it? They let us keep our pencils. I don't know if you guys could see that. Come on, focus, damn you. Which is like my favorite pencil of all time because it's The Witcher. So you could just tell them right then and there what you liked, what you didn't like. You know, they want to know. And they always give you the best swag. Oh my God. They have shirts there a lot of times. I didn't get a shirt this last time that I went to E3, but I did get an awesome statue that I already showed you guys, but I'll show it again just in case you guys didn't see that video. They gave us this. I'm going to put them on the side. Geralt is watching you. It was in this awesome black Witcher tote bag with red handles. Hold up. This is what was on our seats when we watched the Witcher demo at E3. I think I have 2 of them now. They had this huge box in there, which was this statue, and codes for the actual like review copies of The Witcher 3, and like codes for The Witcher 1 and 2 for free. And it's like in E3 2013 they gave out a puzzle. It's a huge puzzle. I'm still building it, and it's I haven't played it yet, but in my opinion, it definitely is worth every penny. Do you know if they're going to incorporate your decisions from the previous games? I don't know exactly what they're going to incorporate, but in that interview that I had with CD Projekt Red at E3 2014, I'll link it here again, I asked if they were going to have like an save import, and how they were going to do that, because for people that played The Witcher 2 on the Xbox 360, how are they going to import into, say, the Xbox One or even the PS4? He didn't know exactly how, but that he was sure that they were going to have a way of doing it. I don't know how, and I haven't heard them clarify that anymore, but just listen to what he says in that interview, because he does say that they are going to be able to, you are going to be able to import your saves, that they're really looking into the way how they're going to do it. Would be awesome if you could talk about the customization. I don't know that much about the customization. The menu looks a lot like the Witcher 2 menu. The customization is a little bit deeper, a little more in depth. Now you have more options as to the materials and actually linking things together and stuff like that. It is advanced from the Witcher 2. What is more different is his actual skill trees. There's more options in the skill trees. There's more there's not so much limitations. I remember in The Witcher 2, you really just wanted to stick to one skill tree, because if you wanted to do a jack of all trades, you were going to have a Geralt that was suffering a lot because you weren't proficient in any of them. So I think you have more option this time around. According to what the devs said, we're going to have the Skellig Islands, Novigrad, and No Man's Land. But if you look at the map from The Witcher 2, those places are quite far apart from each other. And right next to Novigrad, you have another big city, Oxenfurt, which holds the most popular and biggest university in the Witcher lore, but no info has been given about these cities. When I asked John Mamias from CD Projekt Red in my interview about the map, I was like, are you guys, is what we've seen on the map so far what you guys have revealed, is that it, or is there more areas? And he said there are more areas, like secret areas that they haven't revealed. So what we've seen of the map, or what they've confirmed, supposedly there is more. There is more out there. Now remember, this game is so much, I believe they said it was 35 times bigger than The Witcher 2. So this is a big game. These locations are far apart from each other. You do have boats, that's why you sail. You could, if you want to, fast travel. Once you've found that area for the first time, you can now fast travel there. So you do have to end up going there at least once. But yeah, it seems like there's more areas than what they've shown. Whether Oxenfurt is going to be one of them, I don't know. So that's pretty much it for this Witcher video that was past due. I didn't think that I was going to have a lot to talk about, but I obviously did, because I was like, there's no new news. But when I feel like talking about something, I should just talk about it, because it ends up that I have a lot to say about it, especially when it comes to games that I'm really looking forward to. So let me know in the comments down below, especially those of you that have played the whole series, that have read all the books. For people that are wondering, is this game even worth it? Is this game worth the price? You know, let them know why you recommend this game. Like, why is The Witcher worth the money? What do you think makes it stand out? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.